Good day, everybody, and welcome to Ted Davies Artistry on Air. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Hopefully, you can see the sign behind me here. If you're on the audio podcast, feel free to switch over to YouTube as well. We're going to do a couple different things today. We're going to be talking about birthdays. Since it's my birthday month, we are going to talk about some of the memories I had growing up. And I thought we'd do some sketching today, too, live, which I usually only do now on special occasions. But since it's my birthday month, I figured we'd do it. So let's get to it. So if it's your first time here, my name's Ted Davies. I'm an artist and author. I'm best known for my books Retrieve and Grimm 101. Both are doing very well, and yeah, we've been very, very busy writing scripts for Retrieve, for streaming, and it's been great. It's been a very busy year with Craig Hall, the producer out in LA. We've been, like I said, really busy. The Retrieve books are continuing on, and I'm not doing those live right now, but I'm actually producing them. I'm working on book 3 right now, so keep that in mind if you guys are shopping for that. Also, I'm just going through my list here. We are, if you haven't, this is your first time here, again, my name's Ted Davies. We're here to inspire you. If you're creative, if you're a writer or an artist, this is part of my journey, and hopefully it inspires you to continue on yours, because that's the whole idea of this channel, to get you to the point where you're motivated and you're doing things. Remember, you've got a voice, and the world needs you around. So that's why I wanted to put this channel together, to make sure that you can see me on my journey, and hopefully it inspires you. So that's the idea behind it anyway. We'll give a few minutes to get a few people in here too. I usually don't do lives anymore, so this might be a lonely sketching. People might have to see this as we on the replay, as they say. So check out. Let's actually get my website up here. During the month of April right now, I'm going to be actually reducing my prices on most of the things that I'm selling on my website. So check out everything that we're doing on teddaviesartistry.com. Go to the Shop Ted tab, and you can say that 5 times fast, and go through everything. You can see everything that I've got on discount right now. We have $10 prints, 12 by 18 size prints for only $10, plus, of course, shipping. But it's a heck of a deal right now. So check out everything that we're doing with that as well. You can also scan the QR code there with your phone that's on the screen there, and that'll help you take you right to that website as well. Okay, so I'm 52 this year. It's crazy. I can't believe it. But it's been okay. Things have been all right. It's just part of getting older, I guess. We need to celebrate it, And when I was a kid, we were fortunate enough to be we traveled a lot, especially during Easter and that. So, and this time of year, this is this part of it. We were usually on the road on my birthday, and it was great. Whether we went to we went a lot of different places, but like Florida, we'd go to Disney World, or we would go to let's see, can't think right now. Williamsburg, Virginia, and we would do that type of family trip thing, and it was pretty cool because I could end up going. I could actually pick out a toy from wherever we were at that location, let's say, and that was neat. That was a special time, at least when I was a kid. That's what I remember with my parents. And it was awesome growing up. They were just great people anyway. But and I was very fortunate to be able to be with them and traveling with them on my birthday. So, but like I said, we're gonna get to the sketchbook. We'll talk a little bit more about birthdays. If you guys have any birthday memories, hopefully good, because that's what we want here, positivity. Share them with us. So I'm going to switch over to the screen here so that we can get a little bit better viewpoint of the sketchbook today. All right, let's see what we got here. Hey, Carl, how you doing, man? So what we're going to be working on today is I've got a, I guess for lack of a better word, it's a transit ship. It's a ship that we're going to be putting together for the comic book that Christine and I are writing. We're going to be releasing the name of it soon. The ship, or the idea behind this aerial floating ship, it's like a hovering ship, is for the people, or the beings, I should say, that are inhabiting this planet, or inhabiting. They need a place, or they need an area to, or an area. They need a ship to move around in, and it's very kind of hodgepodge. It's put together with everything that's around them. So I think that there's a lot of room for, uh, you might be able to see a couple different things in this. Maybe a tin can, or maybe odds and ends. Trash that's been left behind by other beings on this planet. So, and that's pretty much how the storyline is going to go. These alien beings are land on a planet that's full of garbage, and they basically have to survive, and they have to build their survival on what is around them. And it's a game show. It's an alien game show to boot. So it should be real interesting, the way it's going to be written and the way it's going to be drawn. I hope it's interesting. So we're going to get to drawing here. I'm going to be using a couple micron pens. We're using what is this, a '05 and a number 1 micron pens, and then I'm going to be using this Chromatech 54 set that we've been using, this watercolor set. So hopefully you guys like that, and we can get rolling here. Let me get a drink of coffee. And like I said, if you guys are on the podcast, audio podcast, switch over to YouTube. Follow us on Ted Davies Artistry. Become part of Ted's tribe. And if you are trying just to listen while we're talking, which that's what we do here, you can always check us out on Ted Davies Artistry on our podcast, audio podcast, anywhere you can pretty much find the podcast. Spotify. We're also on Amazon Music. Check out what Amazon Music has to offer as well. And let's get to it. So I'm going to just start kind of drawing. One of the things that the sketchbook has been doing too is it's kind of a stream of consciousness thing. So, but we're going to be utilizing the way that I've been drawing this the last couple months, probably the last 6 months actually. And this planet that these beings are on has kind of been overrun with water, and it's a good thing in some regards, but not necessarily for them. And they have to build. They're pretty much dumped on this planet, and they have to build with what they've got around them. And you're going to kind of have to see how that goes. But I think you guys will dig it. The survival aspect of the characters and everything. It's really, especially being that it's a game show for aliens. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, but also you're going to see things a little bit differently, I think, than the contestants do. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Housing is important for them, obviously, but especially in this type of world that they're in. All right, let's get to the ship here. Yeah, pretty much, Carl. It does sound like Survivor meets Junkyard Wars. A little bit like that. I know live on Tuesday mornings aren't what they used to be during the pandemic, and that it was a little bit easier to have a few people on here, but that's the schedule I've got. So if you guys are on Tuesdays, that's great. If not, you can always catch me on the replay. Yeah, so we used to travel quite a bit when I was a kid. We would go on road trips. My dad was a designer at Ford, so he would have pretty good cars and stuff. So we'd go out, and I remember he had a 1980 Town Landau Thunderbird. It's white, and we traveled quite a bit in that. I know we went to a lot of parts of Indiana and did a lot of traveling with that car. But yeah, that was something. This time of year always reminds me, you want to just get in the car and go somewhere, I guess. But um, I remember being out in Williamsburg and how hot it was. It was so warm, and I remember how hot it was just in April. It's crazy. But they had my parents had this idea. Hey, let's go to Williamsburg. So we had to tour the battlefields and everything else, and that was okay, I guess, but it wasn't quite what I wanted to do on my birthday when I was, I think, 10 or 11. But we did. It was interesting. It was fun in some regards, but there was, it's all how you look at it. I liked being home too because I knew that we had this in Detroit. We had this bakery called Iverson's. And Iverson's had this just awesome cake that they put together, and they had these chocolate. I don't even know what spears. I guess like they look like arrowheads on it, and they were just so good. They were so good on top of the cake. But yeah, I tried to get the that cake up until when I could eat gluten and when I used to eat gluten. But now it's a thing of memory now. But man, that was a good cake. And I would always have, I think it was spaghetti dinner mom would make for me. When I was little, I was about 13 months old, 14 months old. I got really sick. I almost died from pneumonia. And this is back in the 70s, which is kind of crazy that you would think that kids would die from pneumonia back then, but it was pretty serious. I was really, really sick, and I didn't eat for quite a while. At the hospital, they were really concerned about it. But once my fever broke, I ended up. I think that they had. I want to say that they fed me spaghetti is the only thing I ate. So every year for my birthday, my mom would make me spaghetti, and it was kind of a family thing or tradition for me at least. It was awesome. I still love spaghetti. So just not with the gluten pasta. A little bit different tasting now, but with the gluten-free stuff, but it's still great nonetheless. Good memories though. I mean, that's the thing, right? That's the whole idea about birthdays are good memories. And you try to remember as much as you can. My parents have both moved on, so they're not here anymore, but you just try to do the best you can with the family that you have, especially with my kids. I enjoy so much time with them, whether it's my birthday or not. But there's definitely something to be remembered for my birthdays. I really was very fortunate in that regard. So. I remember one birthday we went to Toronto to the CN Tower. That was really cool. They had this huge Lego display, massive Lego display that it was a part of the CN Tower complex. Unbelievable. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but definitely check it out in Toronto. It was just incredible. The area was packed. And I remember it was so long ago they had dot matrix printers that they would print out your photograph. If you guys remember those days. But yeah, pretty neat nonetheless. It was really, really cool. So they had this picture of my parents and myself. Yeah, and it was all with dot matrix letters and numbers and everything else. I still have it, I think. I'm pretty sure I still have it. But I mean, those little tiny memories, my parents probably forgotten about it by the time they got older. But it's funny what you remember as a kid or from being a kid. What was important, what wasn't important. I remember when we went going back to Williamsburg again. The thoughts of Williamsburg. They had they had this toy shop in Virginia, and it was really cool. It had this all these different types of. It was almost like they had these German toys, or there was like Scandinavian toys that were different than what you would find at like Toys R Us. It was more of a specialty toy shop, and they had this ski lift. It was so freaking cool. It was so neat. And it was a manual ski lift. You would actually it was like a trolley. You could run it like across your room and up onto something like on a bookshelf or whatever. And then you would place the base of the trolley in that down on the ground. And this tram would go up and down, as you crank the motor. It was so cool. I love that thing. I played with that thing forever. I thought it was the coolest thing. But it's funny what you remember as a kid, what was cool and what wasn't cool. But yeah, those type of memories, I'm really thankful that I had. The parents that I had, they were just awesome. We would do things like that, really different types of things. I remember one year, I think it was in April. I'm not sure if I think it was right around my birthday. We went to Chicago, and that was awesome. We went to the museums, but we also went out to like Hugo's Steakhouse, and if you guys know Hugo's, or back then it was part of Gilbert's Steakhouse, and we went into Gilbert's side. They shared the same kitchen, but Gilbert's side you couldn't get in without a suit coat, so we had to borrow suit coats while we were there. I thought that was really, really funny. But we did, and we got in, and it was fantastic dinner. Hugo's is later on when I worked in Chicago, and that Hugo's actually is the cheaper version, or it was anyway, years ago, of Gilbert's. So I would go to Hugo's side, and it wasn't as busy either, which was nice. And yeah, I would go over there, and oh man, they had the best tiramisu too. Oh, it was so good, so good. But yeah, I don't know if let's see. I don't know if there's any other memories in Chicago, but that was one of them. At least the birthday wise, when my parents were alive. Definitely a long time ago, but still very, very cool. What was that, Carl? I'm just reading. Yeah, yeah. I am a whippersnapper, huh? You remember? I know you remember the dot matrix printers. Gosh, it was a long time ago when those things were pretty cool. Those dot matrix printers. That is something to be said for it, because I know I have a lot of. It's amazing what we can have now in our homes. It's incredible what we can do with the scanners and everything else, but compared to what we used to have in the day. But it is something. I know that they're hopefully you had good memories of your childhood birthdays, or even now. If you guys throw in the comments what you guys used to do too. We might have something in common when it comes to that, I think. Get a couple of colors here. So yeah, so the back to the comic book. We're actually there's a couple different things with this comic that are really interesting. I think that mainly the way that the drawing is, the color palettes and everything else are going to be kind of as we go, because I have some not differences as far as what I want to do, but there are going to be some things that I'm going to be changing up. But they these aliens are, like I said, they can't really stand the environment of the planet, so they're kind of trying to make it work, I guess, like we all do. But they have to, because they can't survive the planet's atmosphere. So they're building everything that they can. They've got a technology that they can hover. The materials that they build, they can make everything hover. and move around, which is great for them. It adds a lot of mobility for them and makes it easier for them to survive on this planet. And part of the game show is that they have to find out what is the best way to inhabit this planet that they found, and what is the best natural resource that they have on the planet that they can exploit, that the alien not the fan base, but the alien, I guess it would be the fan base, the alien planet that they're from can exploit, which is always nice, right? So what type of natural, is it? What do you think it might be? Do you think it might be natural gas? Do you think it might be maybe water? I'll let you guys figure that out, but I already know what it is. And it's something I don't think many of you are going to. Yeah, I think you're going to giggle when you find out what it is. So it's a good thing, though. Good thing. I think you're going to dig it. Let's get this sketched up here. I think you're going to dig it. There's a lot of thought that went into the storyline, so should be fun, though. Should be fun. These sketches that I'm doing, too, these are only going to be, they're about 20-minute sketches. I'm also going to be selling these out as well. They're going to go up in price once the book comes out, but I'm going to be selling the overview ones that I'm doing for the next month for about $25 a piece. They're 5x7 if you guys are listening in. They're 5x7 full color ink and watercolor. And let's see what else I got here. I should have picked out some of these colors in advance. I apologize, but sometimes it's better when you don't plan, I've found. But yeah, so we're just going to kind of see where this takes us on that. Yeah, so let me know if you guys, what you think in the comments. What do you think that the most natural thing that on this planet that they can harvest? Because that's part of the game too. What would be the reward of finding a planet that's not very habitable, but they make it work? All right. Let me get some ink on here. I was trying to think back on, what's the first memory I have of a birthday that I had. And I was thinking back, I remember when I was about 4, there was that birthday cake sets in my mind, the one I was telling you about earlier from Iverson's. If you guys have ever had Iverson's cake or anything from Iverson's in Detroit, you guys are fortunate. You are the lucky ones. They moved out to the suburbs and they still have the same recipes and that, which is great. But it's still not like the bakery in Detroit, I think. But maybe they've built a following out there too, though, out in the suburbs that somebody's probably going to talk about later as they grow up and say, "Oh yeah, Iverson's is great in Farmington Hills, Michigan." Yeah, and the artwork's been very well received. Thank you guys for being so kind and letting us know that you like the artwork. We've been really, really fortunate with that, with everybody's feedback on that. Like I said, thank you guys for being that supportive. Okay. Let's add some watercolor here. Some extra brush color. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, some of the watercolor dried out here a little bit, but that's okay. We'll get that blended in there. One nice thing about watercolor is that, the pigments do dry out, but you can just add some more water and it ends up blending it pretty easily. I don't lose any sleep over it. It's a pretty, I love watercolor anyway. It's such a medium that it's once it's down, it's very zen. It's very in the moment, but do the best you can with it. And it's supposed to be, it's supposed to just be not forgiving, That's the whole idea of it, I find. And the atmosphere, I was telling you earlier on some other ones, you haven't seen the other videos. The atmosphere is very cloudy, very dense. A lot of particulates in the air, and they're dealing with all of that. I know it's not always easy, especially if you're an alien. You're trying to live on a planet that's not very habitable, and then you are trying to live. You can barely breathe. So, but I think that's a pretty good start to this one. Yeah, there you go. Move that up there. I think that looks pretty good. That's a success, I think, on that one. I'm going to switch back over to the other screen here. There we go. So you can see my mug again here. So yeah, so I know it's only been about a half hour, but there's thanks, Carl, I appreciate it. There's a lot to it. Birthdays are a funny thing. We end up either loving or hating them, right? We don't like the presents we got, whatever else, however we are in life. But I've been pretty fortunate, and I've spoiled myself a little bit. But during the month of April, my birthday, I try to give back, and that's the whole thing. That's why I wanted you to go to the website if you guys are interested in some of my artwork, because I do discount it this month especially. So, and like I said, we've got $10 prints, 12 by 18 prints. Check those out. All my original artwork is discounted right now. So check that out as well. You guys can shop to your heart's content. And I think on my website, you also have a payment plan as well. So you can check that out. So if you want to be a collector of my work, the time's right. So I appreciate you guys stopping in and checking out what I'm working on right now with the sketchbook. We're trying to do the live thing this month. I don't know if every week I'm going to be on. I know towards the end of the month is actually my birthday, so I'm going to be probably taking a couple weeks off there. But I'll keep it, I'll keep you aware of what's going on. Thanks so much for stopping in. You guys have a great day. Do something good for somebody. No envy, no fear. Thanks again, guys.